Limits can also have a value of infinity, which means that as x gets closer to value a, f of x increases or decreases without a bound. So this is what you will see if a limit has a value of infinity. To understand this clearly, here is an example. So consider, as an example, consider a function, which is this, y is equals to 1 over x to the power of 2. If we graph this function, it will look like this. So it's actually asymptotic. It has an asymptote, rather, at our x is equals to 0. That means that this line will never touch this line. Okay, so this line will never touch this line. So di gini sila mag-meet. Na, miskin uh, unsa pa value ni x, no? So di gini sila mag-meet. Okay, so now consider unsa kaya limit ani nga function. So here, as x approaches to 0, what could be the limit of this function? So as x is equals to 0, what could be the limit of this function? So ato pa from right to left and from left to right, what are the values? So kung atong tanawon, no, since wala man siya yung makuha na value and actually ga-increase si y as x is approaches 0. So ga-increase ang value ni y yun as x approaches 0. That means that this is infinity. So this is a positive infinity. That is true from both sides. So as our x approaches 0 from right to left, it goes to positive infinity, positive y infinity. And as our x approaches from 0 from this side, from right to left, it also pataas po siya, which means pato po siya positive infinity. So this means that the limit of this function is infinity. Now, let's consider another example that looks like that. So an f of x that is equals to 1 over x. Now, if we graph this, it will look like that. Okay? So this is our y and this is our x. Now, what could be the limit of this function as x approaches 0? No? Um, First, let's consider the positive direction, that is from left to right. We see that this function, as our x approaches 0, this function approaches negative infinity. Obus man siya. So, as our x approaches 0, ang ato pong y nagkataas ug nagkataas paubos. So, negative infinity. Now, let's consider the other direction, which is from right to left. So here, tanawon po nato dire, no? Saka po yung value. So, as our x approaches 0, our y also approaches the positive infinity. So, this function doesn't have a limit. So, ingana ra siya, ingana usually ang itsura sa function wherein naa sila positive or negative infinity nga limit at a certain point. Padili gid siya mo touch or dili gid siya mo adto sa usa ka value. In fact, magka-increase siya or magka-decrease siya as our x approaches a certain value.